Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Real Talk with Coach Sherri. And this channel is about workforce development, career readiness, entrepreneurship, and of course, real life, real issues, and real talk. I am so happy to be back. I took a little time off because I was really busy with workforce development, preparing 9 men for the workforce so that they could be workplace ready. And they are getting trained now in boot camp, and soon they will be starting their on-the-job training as apprentices. And I'm just happy to be back and here on the stage. I have a special guest, and I know you all are going to receive so many nuggets from her. I highly recommend that you get your pen and paper ready so that you can take down notes, because my guest is going to drop some knowledge that's going to help you with your health, your wellness, all of that. And, why not write it down? There's no need to forget it. I'm also going to include her contact information. If you look on the chat right now, especially if you're tuning in live, you will see she does have a YouTube channel. So I highly recommend that you go check it out. She drops a lot of great information on her channel. Without further ado, I am going to introduce to you Dr. Renee Gilmore. How are you, Renee?
I am awesome. I appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to be on your show, and I'm excited to be here as well.
Okay, that's so great. You guys, we're going to have a conversation. Renee, I'm just, invited a few friends from around the world to tune into our conversation. I do have some questions that I'm going to lace throughout, and I'm going to look down sometimes. I'm going to be taking my own notes. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. Periodically, Renee, I'm going to be looking in the chat because we'll have comments and questions for you, I'm sure. And I'll also put them up on our screen so you can see them, some of the ones that are going to be spotlighted. Okay. That sounds good.
It sounds fantastic.
Great. You guys, I'm really good friends and sorors with Renee's sister, Monique. And Monique has told me so much about Dr. Renee's chiropractic practice. It is a practice that I need to visit. I'm very familiar with going to a chiropractor. I had sciatic nerve issues shortly after being pregnant with my first child. And it lasted until I had my third child. And so I had to go to the chiropractor. I had to go get massage therapy, different things to help manage that pain that I was feeling. And if any of you are out there that have sciatic nerve issues, you know what I'm talking about. The adjustments of your body naturally are not always natural. And so you have to have people such as Dr. Renee to help you get readjusted. I have to start going to Dr. Renee because her sister talked highly about her practice. I had never heard of a chiropractor doing things quite the way that she does holistically. And that's why I'm excited to have her here. And if you have any issues or challenges with your physique, if you are in great health but want to stay in great health, then you definitely want to stay tuned in to this show. So I want to just give a little bit of background. I'm going to be talking about business with you, Dr. Renee, as well as health and recommendations. And you have so many exciting things that you're doing as well as coming up. So I want to hear all about it. Okay. Dr. Renee is a native of New Jersey, so she is a home state girl of mine, as I'm from New Jersey as well. She has 20 years of experience in the chiropractic field. She attended North Carolina A&T State University, which is an amazing HBCU, Aggie Pride. That's where my center child is attending, as well as Dr. Renee's nephew. She has a doctorate of chiropractic from Life University School of Chiropractic. She's the founder of the Total Touch Chiropractic Wellness Center. And she's doing remarkable things. Let's see. So I want to ask you, I'm just going to stop right there because I'm going to double back. I'm going to just kind of go back and forth with you, okay? When did you decide that you wanted to be a doctor?
I could say when I was a small child, I wanted to be a doctor. But I would say it's not until I went off to college and I started to do research that I wanted to become a chiropractic physician, because I thought it was just so awesome that you can heal people with your hands without the use of medication or surgery. A person can walk into your office in pain, barely walking into your office, let me say, and then they can walk out, walking up straight and feeling better. And you
Mhm.
actually used your hands in a natural process to get a person well. So when I started doing my research, I would say back when I was in college at A&T, I decided to become a chiropractor.
Wow.
There's a
Did you
whole
know?
story behind that, in terms
Okay.
of I wanted to be a dentist first, and then I ended up becoming a chiropractor because that's what I really wanted to do. Because I can tell you, there's been this stigma, throughout the years about chiropractor. They're not real doctors, There's, you know, they're because we're not medical doctors. And typically, when people come into my office, they're coming in for an alternative because they've already been to the medical doctors. But the thought process of a lot of people was they're not real doctors, and I had a little bit of that going into, when I was in college. Certain professors saying, oh, you should go and become this instead of that because they're not real doctors. But just through my own processing and making some decisions that I think was the best decision ever, because I absolutely love what I do, I became a chiropractor. So yes.
That's awesome. Yes, and I consider them real doctors because really, what is a quote unquote real doctor? I mean, I know the different things they go through with education, but just kind of piggybacking off of that, to be a chiropractor, what type of education did it require?
So I have a bachelor's in biology. And then also, after school, after college, I should say, getting my bachelor's degree, I attended Life University, which was on a quarter-based system. So you had the option of going to school, all year long, or you can, take breaks like summer breaks. So I got out in 3.5 years. So if you take summer breaks, it'll take you 4 years to get out. So it's
Mm.
full, when you go to chiropractic school, the focus is, of course, you have to know the body, anatomy, physiology, you take gross anatomy, but you're taking classes such as learning how to take x-rays, you're learning nutrition. So it's extra things because your specialty is different. So,
Hmm.
I mean, many of the things that you take where you're in medical school and other types of school, even dental school, you have to know the body. So, in addition to that, you just have to also learn how to adjust the spine, proper alignment, and biomechanics of the spine. So, you go through your 4 years, and I think you can actually, if you have the coursework, you don't
Hmm.
necessarily have to get a bachelor's degree to enter chiropractic school. I don't know if
Oh,
things have changed since I've been in school. That's 24 years ago. Things may have changed, but as long as you have at least the basic foundation, or even an associate's degree, I believe that you can go to chiropractic school.
okay. All right.
Mhm.
That's good to know. And I'm
Mhm.
sure that a lot of people out there may not know the steps to become a chiropractor. Some people may not know, what it
Mhm.
entails and all of that you do learn. I know that you had mentioned before to me when I did the pre-interview work with you that your passion is to keep people healthy and get the sick and injured well.
Right.
Now, I know that when my husband played professional football,
Mhm.
chiropractic was part of his regimen, going to the chiropractor
Mhm.
every week. Twice a week, he would go to get adjusted because of the wear and tear on his body, just always hitting so hard and everything. And it was really important to him for his maintenance.
Right.
So being that from my standpoint, but prior to myself going to the chiropractor, I thought it was primarily for athletes. But what is your typical client like?
I would say there is no typical client because people
Okay.
come in for different things. So all age groups, some people are athletes, Some people are weekend warriors. Some people have been in motor vehicle accidents. Some people have sciatica, pregnant women. Just yesterday, I had one of my patients, she brought her infant in, her 8-month-old infant, and I adjusted the infant, so as long as you have a spine and a nervous system, that nervous system supplies the 10 other systems of the body, then you need chiropractic adjustments. It can affect you. It affects your overall body. So I would say any age. I have people that come in because they've been referred, from other patients because they've gotten really good results. So I would say I have a plethora of patients. I do have some athletes. And I can say this. When I first started out, I wanted to work on athletes. So I went and got certified so that I can work on extremities, or let me say, not so that I can work on, so I could perfect working on extremities. So things like shoulders, ankles, knees, those kinds of things. And my first office was inside of a gym. So and then I actually was the chiropractor for the Carolina Cowboys, which was the semi-professional team here in Charlotte. And then at one point in time for Olympic high school, I was the chiropractor. When my nephew was in school there years ago, I was the chiropractor there, adjusting the players there. So I really started out with that mindset too. I was going to work on athletes because I played sports some when I was in school, and I, always exercised. So that was important. But as the years continued to progress, I start, unpeeling the layers and saying, okay, so not only athletes need this, other people need this. And then I added on nutrition because people also need to I needed to facilitate people in their overall health and well-being. And so in addition to chiropractic, talking about, the proper exercise, the proper rest, the proper nutrition, and then supplementations. What is it that we need to supplement in our bodies, because we're not getting everything in the foods. So.
Right. Absolutely. So as an 8-month-old baby or any infant, what would drive a parent to want to get their child or their baby adjusted? What would be something that would cause them to want that, to think it was necessary?
Okay. Well, I guess if the parent themselves are patients and they realize the benefits, the true benefits of getting your spine adjusted and how it affects the overall health and well-being. Typically when a child, especially if you have a natural birth and they come out, what's the first thing that comes out? The head. And what do they do to get the baby out? They grab onto the neck and pull the baby out. And so that in itself is very traumatic. So like the child that I adjusted, the infant that I adjusted the other day, there was a shortening of one of his legs, but it was muscular. And so when I adjusted his spine, which is just using sustained pressure with your finger, it's very soft. Even the mother could see how everything balanced and the legs became even. So just overall, and like Monique, she could tell you, like, her kids, day one, I adjusted them, and they never had, and it helps their overall immune system as well, especially going through what we're going through now is going to help the immune system as well.
Wow. That's really interesting. How does it help your immune system? What is, because things are flowing properly or aligned properly?
So the nervous system supplies, you have 11 systems of the body, right? The lifeline of all of that, the nervous system supplies every muscle, every tissue, everything. So when the nervous system, when you're sending signals down through the brain and through the spinal cord, out through the nerves, and they're going to the different organs, when that's functioning optimally, that's going to allow all the systems of the body, including the immune system, to function optimally. So it helps you overall.
That's good to know, especially during this time. And I know that you have, or if I don't know for sure, so that's why I'm glad you're here. But
Mhm.
how do you determine what's going on the inside of a person in terms of making that diagnosis that this is what's going on?
Well, a couple of ways. The first way is I do a thermal scan. The thermal scan can detect nerve disturbances through heat differences. Okay, so
Mm,
that's one way. The other way, of course, is I also have what I call my second opinion. I have a very thorough health questionnaire that I submit to people if they're interested in the nutrition component of it. And it asks detailed questions about, like, say, if you have insomnia, I want to know, okay, insomnia, what time do you wake up at night? It asks questions about the food, asks questions, everything from the type of bowel movement to, just things that you would not even think about unless you're filling out this
mm,
specific. So that's my second opinion. And then I do kinesiology, which I call my body scan. And what the body scan does, there's over 32 different reflex on the surface of your body that is indicated, for different glands and different systems of the body. So if I do a body scan on you, I check all of these different um, reflex points to determine if they're strong or weak. And I do that by muscle testing, using your arm and touching those points. If your arm goes weak, that's an indication that that particular organ or muscle is not functioning optimally. That organ or gland is not functioning optimally. And if it's not functioning optimally, after we finish checking all 32, like say for instance, if I check your heart in this week, the heart reflex point. So what I'm going to do now is find the specific supplement that we need to do to support that heart. So I use my knowledge of the different types of supplements and what they're for, and I actually put that supplement against the patient's body and muscle test
mm.
again. If it goes weak, then that
Wait,
lets me
wait. What do you mean you put it against the body?
put it
Like
against the
you literally
body.
take
Right,
the
right.
vitamin
Put it
or
against the body.
whatever?
Right. Put it against your body, and then I muscle test. And if it goes weak, then that does not support your body. If it stays strong,
Wait, okay. Mm.
yes.
You have to rewind. Okay.
Mhm,
So you're testing the 32 areas of your body, of a
mhm.
person's body, and the areas that are weak, you can determine, do a little bit of research and bring the supplements that should adjust or should make that better.
Right.
You put it
So,
on the body,
mhm,
and if the area is still weak, then you know that that's not good.
correct.
Or how?
Right.
Wow.
So if I touch your heart point, like if I touch it right here and it goes weak, then that's an indication that your heart needs some type of support. Now, I don't know what type of support, so I have different types of supplements that they do different things for the heart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that against your body, and then I'm going to muscle
Wow.
test again. So if there's a weakness, then it's like, okay, not this product. Weak again, not this
Wow.
product. Then I get another supplement, and I was like, oh, this is strong. So the body is saying, okay, so this particular supplement is what the body needs. In addition to that, I will test to see, okay, how many tablets do you need? One, two, once a week, twice a week. The body will tell you. See, we're thinking outside of the box. Outside of the box. This is not Western medicine. This is more
So
based on Eastern type of medicine. Yes.
so they're natural vitamins that you would
Right.
be
So,
providing.
right.
Do you have
They're
all of them on hand?
whole food supplements. So I have like trays of sample supplements that I test. And then
Okay.
I do sell supplements in the body. It might not be everything on the tray. And if I don't have it and you need it, I can order it. But I sell supplements, but I find out specifically what's for you.
Wow.
So the difference is versus me saying, okay, Sherri has a heart issue. So I'm going to prescribe, I'm going to take this, and go from there. And what I'm doing is I'm being very specific, asking your body what it needs. And the body is telling me. I'm just using my knowledge of, I know that this is for, helping XYZ. So let me try these products. But your
Wow.
body tells me specifically. And that's what I find, that just makes a world of people get results from that, because it's not just me. It's like we're working together to facilitate an overall healing of their body. It's not me just I'm using my knowledge, but your body is
Mhm.
telling me what it needs.
So that sounds very customized too. So
Yes,
no two people are probably ever alike in that type of situation.
correct. That's why
How
I
long
even,
does
I was going to
how
say,
long
for
does that
example,
type? Okay, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was going to just say, for example, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. For
No.
example, I have patients that they were like, oh, yeah, I'm under stress, and Dr. Gilmore put me on ashwagandha, and their friends come in and they say, you put him on ashwagandha, and I muscle test them, and it's not what their body needs. It's something totally different. And so,
Wow.
but we customize it. They might both be undergoing stress, but it's affecting each individual differently.
Mhm.
So your body needs this versus that. So
So it's not cookie cutter, not a one stop. And that's
no.
what a lot of people do when they get diagnosed with something or they get a treatment that's working for them. They share that particular treatment with their friends, not necessarily how they can also get theirs customized. So I'm
Mhm.
hoping that the people that are tuned in, and especially if you are tuning in with the replay, that you hear this information and know that there's alternatives to that Western medication that you're taking, ways that you can just really pinpoint that the actual symptoms and situation that's going on in your body. Now, since you have those points, what if someone has a challenge with digesting food? Is that too deep into the system, or is that something that you've seen as well?
So what we're going to do, those 32 reflex points, you're checking the stomach, you're checking the large intestines, the small intestines, the liver. You're testing all of the different organs that are in the digestive system. And if you have a
Mm,
digestive problem, then there's something that's going to be weak. So now what we're finding out, because let me give you an example again. I have patients that come in with acid reflux, right? So they're taking antacids, and they've been taking antacids for years, or they want to get the surgery. So I may muscle test them, and there's a hydrochloric acid point, which is hydrochloric is the acid that's in your stomach that helps break down proteins and other things. If
yeah.
I test your hydrochloric acid point and it's weak, then that's an indication that you have too little hydrochloric acid, and we need to support that. So I may put you on, a hydrochloric acid. Now there's different types that I have in the office. I'm going to customize and see which one is for you. And I've had results. People come in and they're like, oh, they're like amazed. I was about to
Wow.
have a surgery. I had a patient that came
Right.
in that was coming in for he came in years ago for a motor vehicle accident, and then he came back probably, it's been probably 3-4 years. He came back and he was just talking about his digestive issues, and I did some things on him, put him on some supplements. He was like, wow. He was like, I was about this bothering me so much, I was about to get surgery. So it could be
Yes.
coming from the, stomach. It could be coming from the small intestines, the large intestines, the liver. So by muscle testing to make a determination where the weakness is, where your body needs to be supported, we're getting to the root cause, not just giving you something for the symptoms. And that's my
Mm-hmm.
motto, is getting to the root cause. There's always a root cause. You just have to determine what that root cause is.
Mm-hmm.
And if I
Mm-hmm.
can't figure it out, then that's when I refer out to someone that I feel as though that can get to the root cause.
Right, right. Instead of putting a
Or
band-aid on it, like
yes,
Western medicine does, puts a band-aid.
right. There is always a root cause. You just got to find out
Mhm,
what. Even
mhm.
if it's cancer, is it autoimmune diseases? You do have some diseases that are genetic that you're born with, right? But many times our lifestyle is not just about genetics, it's our lifestyle that can actually shut on and off genes, So
Mm.
it's called
Wow.
epigenetics, right? So basically you can turn, and you might have the cancer gene, but something in your lifestyle can turn that gene on and cause you to have that expression of that cancer or whatever that disease is. So it's about
Wow.
lifestyle. A large percentage of our diseases and our illnesses is our lifestyle. The foods that we're eating, unfortunately, these days are laced with pesticides, herbicides, hormones, and our bodies are rejecting it. And you
Yes.
can clearly see about all of these diseases that we're having, you know?
Absolutely.
So,
I'm taking down so many notes myself. That's so deep, and I hope that you all are capturing this as well. That your lifestyle can turn on and off your genes. That's why even when I go to the regular Western doctors and you give the questionnaire and they ask you about your family history, I don't put anything down because I don't want to put that on myself. Like what my mother may have had, my father's people, whoever, that doesn't necessarily determine that's what I'm going to get, because I'm hoping that I'm living a slightly better, healthier
mhm,
lifestyle to maybe
mhm,
prevent. But I know I could do so much better. Um, so that test, the 32 flex reflex points muscle test,
mhm.
typically, making an appointment with you, how long does that test take?
I usually tell people give yourself about an hour. Yeah,
Oh,
when you come
okay.
in, about an hour or
Hmm.
so, and maybe less, but I don't know what I'm going to run into. Like each individual is different. We might really it might be complicated, in terms of customizing for certain people. Some people might have a lot of stuff going on. And the interesting thing is sometimes it'll be one supplement that facilitates in all of these different organs and that are weak, which is
Yeah.
interesting. And that was really getting to or it could be multiple things. We need to support this or this, and then to help facilitate balance or homeostasis in the body. So,
I'm definitely going to make an appointment. I'm going to encourage my husband to do the same, because this is blowing me away. What about something like with high blood pressure or diabetes? Is there something that you could recommend through this testing process that would maybe help decrease it or eliminate it altogether?
so once again, with high blood pressure, what is the root cause of high blood pressure? Is the person stressed? Is the adrenal glands weak? And if the adrenal glands are weak, has this person been, and when we talk about stress, people are like, oh, I'm not stressed now. But if you're the type of person, or you have been the type of person, which most of us has been, you go, 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 go all the time. You don't get rest. And most people do, because you have families, you have jobs, it's just, life is just, can be stressful, right?
Hmm.
So stress is normal. However, prolonged stress isn't. That secretes cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone that actually could be
Oh,
steroid hormone. And that in itself can cause high blood pressure, because cortisol increases your blood pressure, increases certain things that causes. So do we need to get the stress or the adrenal glands in balance in order to affect the overall blood pressure? Because
right.
you have people that are on blood pressure medication all the time. Are you really getting to the root cause? And then
Yeah.
that cortisol can affect your hormones. It can affect so many different things. So you have to, maybe for that individual, is to balance the adrenal glands, or give the adrenal glands support,
Right.
for high blood pressure. Or it could be, you may need certain minerals to support the
Mm,
heart. It's so many different things or
wow.
root cause that could happen, that we could figure out, together through, maybe diet changing. Do you need to exercise? Do you, because I always tell the people, help me to help you. So, I only can do so much, but you have to do your part. So does
Yes.
that mean that, or another thing is, do you eat too much sugar? Certain
Mhm.
carbohydrates, sugar in your diet can also increase your blood pressure.
I know
Uh,
sweetness is my weakness.
yeah. Look, do you need more
Terrible.
sunlight, more vitamin D? That can affect your blood pressure too. The sunlight helps
Yes.
to dilate the blood vessels, and that helps decrease blood pressure. So it's a lot of different factors. And that's why that form that I was telling you about is very thorough. It's about 200 and some odd questions.
Oh my
And
goodness.
that's like, yeah, but it's, you fill it out online and you can just click, click, click. And then you can,
Mhm.
go back to it. But I tell people, take
Right.
your
Okay.
time, don't rush through it, give it some thought. And, that's the second opinion. And of course, you can always, you have blood work too that you can look at. And we also need to look at not just, even if it's normal, is it low normal? Because low normal may not necessarily be good either, you know.
Mm.
And as Black people, as African Americans, we're different, and a lot of times when we go to the doctor, they don't consider that difference. And it's
Right.
very obvious. It's very obvious when they tell us to stay out of the sun.
Hmm.
To give you an example, we need the sunlight. The darker
Right.
your skin, the more sunlight you need. And you look at the risk, the benefits outweigh the risk because if you're not getting your vitamin D and your sunlight, there's all kind of different diseases and illnesses which outweigh the possible potential of getting cancer.
I
Because
never ever knew. I never knew the darker the skin, the more sunlight you need.
the more melanin you have, melanin
Hmm.
absorbs the sunlight. It protects us. That's why we don't age and wrinkle like that
Hmm.
because we have more melanin. And then,
Yes.
the darker the person is, when they get older, their skin is like flawless.
Oh
A lot
yeah,
of times you
it
look, you're like,
is.
where's your wrinkles?
Yes. Yes.
So
Like butter. Mm.
yeah. So yeah,
Um,
melanin.
so that's interesting that you were saying that because I'm thinking about my daughter's senior year this past year, and she had a terrible case of acne. And I know a lot of it had to do with stress, just trying to finish her senior year strong, getting into school, applying to schools, waiting to hear back from schools, and just life and, going to that next level and all that and everything. And so I've been taking her to the dermatologist and, they are misdiagnosing, trying this, that. And I'm like, well, why don't we talk about what's really going on in her life and see if that might be a contributing factor and how we can go through
Mhm.
that? They don't want to hear that. So in terms of working with you, even though like as a chiropractor, the things that you're doing to me sound so far beyond, so incredible. Do you ever deal with patients that may have skin challenges with acne or anything like that, even eczema?
Yeah, and the first thing you need to look at is digestion. What are you eating? Is there some type of
Hmm.
food sensitivity that could be causing inflammation? So there's tip, like once again, what is the root cause? Why?
Yeah.
What's going on? Stress, like you said, stress too. And
Hmm.
especially if your cortisol levels are lower. Cortisol is a steroid hormone, and it's like the one of the best anti-inflammatories. And you hear
Mm.
about cortisone shots, right? That's the
Yes. Uh-huh.
right. So if you're constantly stressed, your cortisol levels can be lower too, and so that can
Mhm.
affect its ability to combat inflammation. So,
Wow.
but yeah, just seeing what she's eating, is the stress causing it? Because there could be other factors, definitely.
Yeah, I definitely think diet has something to do with it too. It
Hmm.
just was alarming to us because it was her first time having challenges with her skin. It was like, wait, what's this? What's going on?
Hmm.
It sounds like my whole family needs to come to you, truth be told. And your
Yeah.
process definitely does not sound like one and done. So typically, what is the follow-up or what is the regimen that your typical clients have with you? Is it coming back to you once a month, every other month? when needed? Like, how does that, having you as the doctor, how does that work?
I have some patients that come in every 3 weeks. Some come in every 4 weeks. Some come in every 6 weeks. Some come in every other month. It depends on the individual and what's going on with them. I have some patients that are very active, that say they might be a physical trainer, a personal trainer. And so they do a lot of physical activities. So they may come, or they're an athlete. They may want to come in, just to maintain. So they may come in more frequently. Or I have some people that come in, and if there's a specific issue that we're dealing with, say for instance, it might be a nutritional component. I might have this patient come in every month to get checked to make sure that we're moving in the right direction and make any kind of modifications. So it depends on the individual and what their body needs. I don't have one set for, and a lot of times, Sherri, to be honest, I'll muscle test the patient and ask them, should you come back in 1 week, 2 weeks? Patients love it. They'll just say to me, Doc, you didn't muscle test me. And so I'll muscle test them, and then I'll say, okay, your body says 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, and we go from there.
Yeah. What is a client, a patient that you have worked with that is probably like your best or biggest success story?
I think I have so many that, because for everyone, when you can prevent something like surgery, or you help someone that's been having pain or having an issue for a long period of time, it just makes you feel good, and it makes them feel good. So when I have cases like that, for instance, I have a patient who, she came to me years ago, probably 10 years ago, when she was pregnant, and they was about to put her on, she had, I think it was bronchitis, I can't remember. Bronchitis really bad, and they was going to put her on some steroids. It's probably like 15 years ago, because I think her kids are teenagers now. Long story short, I told her to take this supplement. And back then I really wasn't heavily into nutrition like I knew, but I knew something. And I was just like, take as much as you could possibly take, because I knew it wouldn't hurt her, because it was all natural, right? And because she was like, I don't want to take this medication, this steroids and stuff they're going to put me on. And she started taking it, and she was like, oh my God, she was like, it cleared up. They couldn't believe what was going on. So fast forward like a year ago, right? She's having like all these hormonal issues. And I think she went to some kind of seminar or whatever, and she was going to go to this doctor with thousands and thousands of dollars. Then it dawned on her. She was like, maybe I should come. And she was like,
yes.
Right. She was like, I've had certain issues, she said, I've had most of my life. And we've gotten her in balance, hormonal, in terms of premenstrual syndromes and all of these things that she was having over the years. She's balanced. She's like, I'm good. She's like, I'm good. The stress, I have energy. And then, like I told you, the patient who was about to have surgery and was coming in for a personal injury, and, just like in a couple of, I think a week or two, like the symptoms are gone. And,
that's so awesome.
Right, even patients that I've had chiropractic wise, that's come in and, bent over, and then they're able to walk out. And, I might put them on some things to help the inflammation or to help with the natural stuff with pain. No heavy narcotics or no opioids,
Yeah, right.
Just natural. They're doing good. So it's just so many. I can't even. But I can remember, and this was probably when I first started out. Maybe I was 2 or 3 years in. I had a patient who brought in her, and I just thought about this. Brought in her grandson who was having issues. You know how they label kids because they can't focus and they can't do
Oh yeah,
in
ADD
school.
and stuff. Mm-hmm.
I can't remember.
ADD, ADHD.
It wasn't 80, it was something else. But
Okay.
anyway, he came in and I scanned him and I started adjusting him, and they found a tremendous difference in him,
Mm,
his ability to focus and school and to do better. So
that's
I
awesome.
can't remember. I tell you, Sherri, it was probably almost like 18 years or 19 years ago. I can remember the kid, and I can't remember exactly. He hasn't been in, he's grown now.
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
I remember it helping him focus. I had another set of grandparents that brought their granddaughter in. She's about 17 now. She was probably about 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Every week they were taking her to the hospital for asthma. She was having
Oh,
issues with her asthma. And
mm-hmm.
after she started getting adjusted, she wasn't having any problems. Every blue moon, she would have
That's
an issue, but she wasn't going to the hospital every week. And that was through
right.
chiropractic.
Oh,
I didn't even do nutrition on her. I adjusted her spine.
wow.
So it's like,
That's
it's just so many stories. I just
yeah.
feel really incredibly blessed in what I do because this is my passion and I love to help
I
people,
love that.
especially my people, because a lot of times we don't know about the natural things that we could be doing, the lifestyle changes that we could be doing to help
That's
us
right.
overall. Hmm.
You are totally improving the quality of life of so many people. And I'm looking at your services and for those of you that are just tuning in, those of you that are watching this on the replay, I have Dr. Renee Gilmore. She is a chiropractor. I have your website, your Facebook, and your phone number listed here. I'm going to have her YouTube channel, the link, I'm going to have it in the description after this broadcast is complete. I do have it in the chat box right now. So if you are here live, you can grab her up right there. But I want to list the services that you offer: spinal adjustments, extremity adjustment, electric muscle stimulation, Migan, what's that? Midgen?
Yeah, it's a Megan table. It's
Megan
mhm,
massage table.
mhm,
What is
yeah.
that?
So it's a massage table that has infrared heat,
Mm-hmm.
and it has like these jaded balls that have medicinal properties. So as it rolls up and down your spine, and you have the infrared heat, it penetrates into the body and helps relax, and it gives healing components to the overall spine and nervous system.
Wow.
So I just couldn't do normal table, right?
I mean, like that sounds dynamic. That sounds out of this world, literally. Intersegmental traction. What is that?
So that's a table that you lay on, and you have rollers that roll in between each of the segments of the vertebra to help relax the muscles.
Okay.
Mhm.
Scalar wave laser.
It's a laser that helps stimulate different. You can put let me put it this way. So the laser, you can use different frequency components to do healing type properties of the body in a nutshell.
Wow. The body scan, and with the body scan, is that this? Would that be similar to what you do with the
That's the
32 reflex points?
That's it. The body scan. That's what I.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And you do customized nutrition. So how do you do the customized nutrition? Do you give them a meal plan? Do you sit down with them? How does that typically work?
So the customized nutrition, after typically the person does a body scan, we
Hmm.
customize the nutrition for their body, specifically telling them how many days or how many days they need to take the nutrition, um, what times of the days they need to take it. Um, Also, when they fill out the detailed history form, I take a look at what they're eating and what type
Hmm.
of lifestyle changes we need to do there too. So it'll ask, how many times do you eat sugar a day? How many times you eat, chocolate or uh, artificial flavoring and those types of things. So with that, you could take a look at that and also make changes or
Okay.
give advice for changes,
Okay.
in
Yes.
whatever you're eating or doing. So yeah.
Okay. I love that. So I know when I was getting chiropractic care, especially when I was pregnant, people thought that was the most bizarre thing ever. And there are so many people that I find are still on the fence on, is chiropractic care really safe? I know someone that was recently in a car accident, and she's going to the chiropractor, and she was hesitant, like, I don't know, I'm hoping it'll help. I'm just a little nervous with them adjusting, my back and my neck and everything. How safe is it? And why do people feel that way?
I think that when you think about propaganda, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Over the years in terms of chiropractic, as a chiropractic physician, one, we don't prescribe any kind of medications. We don't do surgeries. Everything is all natural. And we get
Mm-hmm.
people well. So you can't make money off of well people. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times when you go, you have people on medications, right? That you say, okay, you're going to be on this medication for a lifetime. Now, people can choose to do their supplements and to maintain a healthy body, but it's so much more. Um, it's less expensive to stay well than to get well. You know,
Absolutely.
so if
Absolutely.
if you're coming to the chiropractor and you're paying, under $100 or $60 or whatever a month, what
Versus
is that
thousands in a
versus
medical, in a hospital
having to
bill.
have a, yeah, or do you know how much chemotherapy costs? We're talking one treatment could be thousands of dollars.
Mm,
Or certain drugs, they talk about, people can't even afford food because their drugs cost so much.
right.
Whereas with
Mm,
chiropractic, we're aligning the spine.
yes.
There's You're trained to detect and correct spinal misalignments. And I can tell you, my malpractice insurance is not very much. So
Okay.
that's an indication of
Yeah.
the safety of it. I pay like $1,000 a year, and
Wow.
a little bit more than that.
And
And
most
mal
doctors is way more than that.
Yes,
It might be at a month.
so that's an indication of the risk in itself, when you really
Yeah.
think about it, paying a
Absolutely.
little bit above that.
Mm,
And I've been practicing 24 years, thank God, and you're trained, like if a person, like, oh, prime example, I always have stories. I had a patient that came into my office. It was a new patient. And he came in, he told me what he wanted. I need you to do this, 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 this. So he filled out his form. And I'm looking at all of these contraindications to he wanted me to do like a physical, that you see, well, I'm adjusting your neck, like a cervical turn and stuff like that. And I was like, just looking at it, I was like, you're at
wow.
risk. I said, I'm not going to do it. This is the way that I recommend. And I looked at his x-rays and stuff. And I was like, your contraindication for this, 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 and you don't need to be adjusted this way. I said, now feel free to go to somebody else, but I'm
Hmm.
telling you, if they decide to adjust you this way, I wouldn't go to them. I said, because you just have too many risk factors and stuff. So he finally
Okay.
was like,
Mm,
okay, okay. So I say all of that to say there are certain people, there's different techniques to use on different people depending upon what's going on with them. If you have
right.
a person that has an aneurysm somewhere, you're not going to get in there and do a side posture or a cervical, then yeah, you're going to, that is very risky. But you're
Hmm.
trained to know, we know the body and how to adjust people and what to adjust and test to do to see whether or not, this patient should even be adjusted at this particular time, or maybe we need to refer them right now,
Right.
to
Right.
the ER or yeah. So
So yeah.
I can't.
You,
What were we gonna say?
I I really I'm enjoying this knowledge
Mhm.
because I think that most people look at work as reactive, a reaction reaction to something bad that occurred in their life, be it an accident, something that, oh, is showing up on my body now, I have to go and get it adjusted. But to me, it sounds like especially the way that you are running your practice, is more preventative. And I think there's nothing preventative work, especially for your health, there's nothing else like it. And so I'm happy to hear this, because you don't hear preventative work going on in the Western medical fields. Everything is, they want you to react. They want you to, have things escalate, because that helps them out, like you were saying. And I really appreciate this information, about preventative care. I hope that my listeners that are tuned in are understanding how important what you do is really for them well.
Yeah. And I was going to say the other thing.
Does your practice? Okay. Yes.
I was going to say the other thing that I have implemented into the office is that, I've partnered with my sister. We have another business that's called Be Well Thermal Imaging. And so we do thermal imaging at the office as well. The thermal imaging will help detect inflammation throughout the entire body. You've probably heard a lot of information out there about thermography versus mammography. And we don't claim that, but what we do claim is that you can have a young woman, starting as a teenager, getting a baseline of patterns of thermography, because basically what you're looking at is patterns throughout the body, heat patterns, and you can get a baseline. And so as this young woman is growing up, you get an indication if there's any abnormal patterns, then you refer them to have, whatever type of additional diagnostic testing necessary. Right. And the interesting thing is, with the thermal, you can do the entire body. And it also helps to determine, this is prevention again, where you have potential inflammation, because inflammation causes disease over time if you don't get it in check. So in addition to that, you can use this as a means of prevention and seeing what's going on with your body.
Yes. Wow. So so your practice, do you accept insurance?
Yes, I accept insurance for the chiropractic part.
Okay.
Now for the nutrition and then the thermography is not covered through insurance. So for chiropractic adjustments and examination, it is covered by insurance.
What about the like the different types of tables that you have, like the scalar wave laser, the Manjin massage table?
The Megan massage table. Yes. So the laser is not covered, but the intersegmental, the electric muscle stimulation, those things are covered under insurance. And the Megan table too. Yes.
Okay. All right. Those all still sound, just to have it done and just to experience it and see how you would like to continue with it, I think is well worth whatever investment you have to pay out. So I can definitely see that. How long, typically if a patient is going to you like every other month or every 6 weeks, every month, how does it progress, or do they stay with you or stay with the program over the years, or, what is the longest client that you've had?
The longest client that I have, she's been with me. I have several clients. And you know what, if you look at, if anyone reads my reviews, I just started asking for reviews about a year ago, because it was like, Google review. This is what I had a coach. It was like, you need to get some Google reviews. If you read the reviews, I have a lot of patients that's been with me for a while. Probably my oldest patients, I have several, probably 18 years or so. Yeah, because even probably, 18. I have one patient 20 years, because when I had my 20th anniversary back in 2018, he was like, yeah, I'm the oldest patient, you know. Like, I've been here since
Yes.
the beginning. That's when I was in the gym, you know. And then
Hmm.
when he got married, his wife comes, and they've been coming to me since then. And I have some other patients too, 18 years. And then I have some people that fall off and then they come back, you know.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Because
yeah.
they see like, oh man, I need to go back and feel right
Mhm.
again. So
Yeah.
how are you running your business during COVID? You know, COVID has changed the dynamics of a lot of businesses, be it in the medical field or not. How are you? Did you have to start doing things virtually as well? How can you do that? And you know, what does it look like for you?
Yep. So we are still considered essential because if
Okay,
you
good.
we're still considered essential because when people are in pain, I've had patients like, oh, thank God you're open. And people don't want
Hmm.
to go to the hospitals. So you have an alternative. Then you have people that work in the hospitals that also needs treatment or
Right.
care. So we're considered essential. I have minimized my hours. I'm only working 2 days a week,
Okay.
Tuesdays and Thursdays for now. Just making
Okay.
sure that we're, you know, everybody's been wearing masks in my office even before it's been a mandate because you
Hmm.
know when I work on people, I'm less than 6 feet, you know, because I have to work on people. So
Right.
I've required masks way before that, and I've always cleaned down and wiped down tables after people anyway. But now we're just doing it more so, just making sure the doorknobs and wiping down, you know, the light switches and just making sure keeping everything, you know, clean. And then when patients come in, we normally don't have anybody in the waiting room. They're
Hmm.
usually in an individual room so that they're not, you know, in contact with one another. So when you come
Right.
in, you're usually put in another room, and then when it's, you know, when it's time to see them, then they come into, or I go into the room that's needed. So yeah.
Okay. That's really
So
good. And another thing, you know, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, being a doctor and building a practice, that's a business.
mhm.
And so how um how important has networking been in running your business?
Oh, network is very important. Yeah, because that's how you get your referrals a lot of
Hmm.
times. And you know, with personal injury, you know, I have a couple of attorneys, and I have one, you know, and I have one attorney she's really great in referring patients, and then just going out when you go out to meet people. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't know, black female chiropractor. Where are you located? So
Yeah.
I would say I used to network a lot more than I do now.
Hmm.
Um, but networking is still important. I guess because now you have social media, so that helps.
Right.
You
Yes,
know,
it
22
does.
years ago, there was no social media, so you definitely need to have, like, hey, you know, shake some hands,
Yes.
rub some elbows, you know.
Kiss babies. So um are there a lot of black female chiropractors or black chiropractors, period?
I would
Especially
say
in this region.
I wouldn't say there's a lot, but there are some. There are some. To give you an
Okay.
example, I don't know how the dynamics has changed, but when I was in chiropractic school, the largest class, my class was the largest class. It was 300 people in our class, right? That was a
Mm.
really large class. And we had the largest amount of black students, which was a whopping 11 out of the 300.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
yeah.
That's not a
So
lot.
it's this field is a white male dominated field.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's definitely male dominated, white male dominated. So to be a black female is probably, you know, an anomaly. But there are some of us out there. You
Okay.
know, there's some of us out there.
What makes you different?
I would say my passion. I really, really love what I do, and I really want to see people do well and be well and stay well. And I want to get to the root cause, and that's just me. That's my personality. So what I do really fits with what my spirit is, you know, to
Mhm.
help people.
Mhm.
Um, I think that my practice is I treat people the way that I want to be treated, you know.
Mhm.
So my expectations is really high. Um, so when you're in my office, customer service is crucial, is very important. Um,
Uh-huh.
so, and then I'm always learning. I'm always trying to learn new things because things change.
Mhm.
Stay on top of things and learn new things, how I can help people. And I'm the type of doctor that if I don't know something, I'm going to let you know that I don't know something. But the next time you ask me, I bet you I will know about it because you don't know
Yes,
everything as
yes,
a doctor. And sometimes
yes.
patients come in and they're like, "Do you know blah blah blah?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, what is that?" And I'm like, "What is that?" Write it down. So the next time they come in, I'm versed in it, and that's
Yes.
important too. And I listen to my patients,
Mhm.
because we don't know everything. The patient knows their body better than anyone. So
Mhm.
if they're telling you that something's not right, even though X, Y, Z, then something's not right. Got to get
Right.
to the root cause. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I I'm definitely making an appointment.
okay.
And I encourage anyone. Now, what areas do you serve? Where can people find you?
Okay, so my office is at 5200 Park Road, Suite 126. And it's in Charlotte. So Park Road near Tyvola Road. Just so
Okay.
that
All
people
right.
know, because Park Road is a long road, right? So
Yes.
yes, I'm on the south side. Yes.
Okay. And
Yeah.
that's Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes.
And
Oh,
oh, I
yeah,
want
sure.
to thank Mrs. Carter for sharing out the stream. I appreciate you, Lisa. I really do. I want to thank Zaya Rose for being in the building, Burns Junk Closet, as well as Monique Scott for even talking with me and suggesting that I invite you. I was like, yeah, that'll be great. Absolutely. Because I think that the information that you're sharing is so valuable. And as we are in this new place as a world, as a country, where people are getting sick and people are just really trying to live healthy, and people are living longer anyway. That was something that was going on before COVID, and trying to live healthier now is important more than ever. And so I really highly recommend that people reach out to Dr. Renee Gilmore for her chiropractic work. And I never heard of chiropractors doing all that you do, with the vitamins, with the testings, the body scans, the muscle, the reflex points, the muscle test. I think, that will give someone such a great snapshot and allow them to be more proactive with their life versus reactive.
Mhm.
What do you have to say to the audience, Dr. Renee? Um, Something to encourage them, to inspire them, something that will help them stay on the right track, or even just get on the right track to start off with. Got to get on it, right, before you can stay
Yeah,
on it.
you have to get on it and just know that your body is incredible. You give the body what it needs, and it will function correctly. So that means getting away from the processed stuff, the processed foods. What are processed foods? Anything that comes in a package, right? Stay away from the sugar. Sugar causes inflammation. Getting your sunlight. Sunlight is important. I'm not saying lay out there and just bake for, hours and hours, but I'm saying every day. The sun is
Mhm.
healing. We need our vitamin D. If you're low in vitamin D, the best source is the sunlight. It's free. You can't get toxic, you don't get toxic loads of vitamin D through the sunlight. So I would say that make sure you drink plenty of water. So these are just like basic things that you can do. You can get out there and exercise. If you got arthritis or something, you want to do like non-weight bearing stuff, like getting in a pool or, doing stuff where you're not aggravating the joints. But just, eat healthy, try to stay positive. That's
Mhm.
important. Get your proper rest. Try to reduce your stress. Um, just, just really take the opportunity to take care of yourselves because you have
Yeah.
one body, right? You
Mhm.
have one opportunity to keep this body
Yes.
healthy. So continue to just to, take care of your body and, try to do what you can to stay
Mhm.
healthy in terms of your diet. And even
Yes.
things like planting your own garden in the back, or if it's on your patio, grow your own food so that you know what you're eating. And then you could just
Mhm.
take from the earth, because we are just incredible people. This melanin is incredible. If you give it
Yeah.
what it needs, it will function correctly.
Wow.
And then find someone. I don't know where people are, but find somebody that can help you be proactive with your health. If
Mhm.
you're in the Charlotte area or not, because I have people come from High Point, Durham, Burlington, Rock Hill, different areas of, within the Charlotte surrounding areas. They come here,
Yeah.
Greensboro. And sometimes you just need that support. I even had inspiration last week. One of my patients who's a personal trainer, I was talking about how I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. She said, no excuses. You have no excuse. Now, especially
None.
if you're watching this and you're sharing it, is no excuse. You know,
None.
none,
None. And
none.
that's what we learned pledging. Excuses are the tools of the weak and incompetent. Those who use them are seldom capable of anything else.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
no excuses. I'm excited to share this with my husband as well. I mean, there's so many retired players in the Charlotte area and they are suffering terribly physically. And if this could give them any kind of reprieve, I know that it would be a blessing. So it's been a blessing for me to have you on here. But before I let you go, I know you
Mhm.
have the Be Well thermal imaging that's new,
Yeah.
but what
Yeah.
else is coming up for you? What else do you have on your radar?
Well, I'm only open 2 days a week. So I'm the type of person so we got the Be Well thermal imaging. I became a certified technician for being able to take thermography technician. Okay.
Mhm.
So I am currently about to take a class, an EMT class, believe it or not,
Okay.
an
That's
EMT,
good.
because I just feel like the emergency type of things, that's not my scope, because
Hmm.
it's emergency. And I feel like in this day and age with everything's going on, I want to be prepared for that. Um,
Okay.
and then the other thing, this is way off and totally opposite. I am actually taking a class to become a pistol instructor.
All right.
A pistol instructor, because what I want to be able to do is teach women, Black women, and particularly to feel comfortable with handling a gun.
Yes.
So
Yes,
I'm
that's going
taking
to
a
be needed
class.
too.
I'm gonna take a class for that as well, just so women can feel comfortable and not
Hmm.
scared,
Hmm.
with that. So yeah, so those are my three things. I was taking this other class online. I've just been trying to stay busy.
That's good. And leveling up, that's important. Continue to level up. And that's what I was doing during this pandemic time. There's so much. I mean, I'm taking the HR certification, just a lot of different things to increase my knowledge to make me better for those next opportunities. Um,
Mhm.
I want to know, what are the steps to make an appointment with you? Because I know for sure um, God willing, my husband, my children. So that's 5 right there. But what do we have to do? I have your email and, well, your website, and let me put it down here again, your phone number and your Facebook page. And like I said, I'm going to add your YouTube channel in the description box once this is, up and going. But what do I need to do to get an appointment?
You can try to book. Some people reach out via my website,
Okay.
and I will receive, and then we can correspond via email once you fill out the information on
Okay.
the website. If you go contact us
Okay.
through www.totaltouchcare, and then put your information in, and then somebody will respond to you, and then we can, do it that way. Or you can just call the office, call 704-350-9990.
Okay.
So either through our website, or just give us a call.
Okay. And after you do all that, at what point do you get the 200 questionnaire to fill out?
So when you call the office, my assistant will ask, are you coming in for chiropractic or nutrition, or both?
Hmm.
So if you're doing nutrition, then we send you the paperwork for nutrition. If you're doing both, you get two sets of information.
Okay.
One more is for chiropractic, and then the other's for nutrition. So that will
Okay.
be emailed to you once you
Okay.
make your appointment when you come in.
So I
So
have listeners all over the world. I mean, I have quite a few in the UK and just in all
mhm.
parts of this country, definitely. And if they called your office, would you be able to refer them to a chiropractor that has a similar practice to you? Because some of them may not be able to come to Charlotte, North Carolina, but still would like this type of work done.
Okay.
Um, how would that
Dep-
work?
Depending upon where they live, I can actually you know, find someone to probably help. Um,
Okay.
there is a couple of like through standard process. That's one of the supplement companies that I utilize. We can, go through there and try to find some chiropractors that do kinesiology or muscle testing and that kind of thing. And then for the nutritional, I do have a couple of patients who are, out of state, and they fill
Mhm.
out the form, and we do some other things. I look at their blood work and do some other things to help them with nutrition. We don't do the body scan per se, but there's some other things that could be very similar that could facilitate in that as well. So to
Okay.
answer your question, yes, depending upon where they live, I do have some resources in which I could help facilitate in them finding someone in their country.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate it. You guys, I hope that you were able to capture these nuggets that Dr. Renee Gilmore has shared with us this evening. Oh my goodness, it's all for your good, for the better of the good, for your wellness, for your health, for you to be proactive and be the best you. That's what we can do. It's just be the best us that we can
Yeah.
be. And taking preventative measures, such as going to the chiropractor, like Dr. Renee, not just any old chiropractor, but you want to find one that is going to treat you holistically from the inside out to find the root cause. And that's something that she mentioned throughout this interview. The root cause is really important. It's more than just putting that band-aid, and it's more than just going to the chiropractor for reactions. I
Right.
really enjoyed this conversation. Dr. Renee, do you have any questions for me?
I can't think of any questions right now. I mean, you've done such a good job, and I don't think I have any questions. What is your next topic, and when will
Um,
you? And
that's a great
when's your next
question.
show? When's your next topic?
That's perfect. And I thank you for that.
Mhm.
So I have Real Talk with Coach Sherri every Friday night at 6 p.m. And next Friday, I'm having someone who authored a resource book for people regarding their insurance and preparation for their life after. And so we're going to be talking about the importance of that and having those things documented so that your loved ones aren't scrambling around, at the
Mhm.
end.
Yes.
And I'm excited to have her on. She's dynamic and full of knowledge, and her book is going to be a very valuable resource. So I'm looking forward to having her on. And, typically I have people in various businesses as well as athletes that are currently playing or who are retired and talking about life after sports. But I really want to be just a platform for people to gain knowledge, to hear about the different things that are out there and available that they may not have known about or have privy to. So I appreciate you because I know that you have definitely been, informative, and people have gleaned something positive from you as well. So this might be saving someone's life, and that's what it's all about. So I want to thank Mrs. Carter, Vern's Junk Closet, Zaya Rose, Monique Scott for being here live. I know there were some other people that were also tuned in. And for those that are catching this on the replay, I appreciate you. Be sure to leave a comment down below and let us know if you have any specific questions. I'll also leave Dr. Renee Gilmore's contact information in the description box so that you can reach out to her. Be like me and make your appointment. I'm making mine as soon as possible. I need to get things right. 2020 was supposed to be my year. It still can be. It's not over yet. So I need to, make sure everything is running smoothly. So I'm
One more
excited.
thing. One
Yes.
more thing I forgot. I forgot to
Oh,
leave
fine.
just in case anyone's interested in the thermal imaging, I wanted to
Yes.
leave the website for the thermal
Okay.
imaging. So
Okay.
it's
I'm gonna type it. Mm-hmm.
thermalimaging.com. I forgot to add that just in case anybody wants to take advantage of that as well.
Okay, perfect. I just put it in the chat, and because once the live, I don't know how many hours later, the chat will disappear. So I'll be sure to capture it in my notebook and put it in the description box as well.
Right.
This has been
Right.
remarkable. I just feel like this is about to be a game changer. You know, I'm really looking forward to sharing this, like I said, with my husband. This could be a serious game changer for his health and wellness as well. For everyone that is new to my channel, thank you so much for tuning in. For those of you that have been rocking with me, thank you. This channel, once again, is about workforce development, career readiness, entrepreneurship, and of course, real issues, real life, and real talk. And you have just experienced Real Talk with special guest, Dr. Renee Gilmore. Until we speak again, please remember to remain safe. Thank you. And everyone, have a good evening. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you.
Stay well.